What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Friday, September 26th, 2025, and we are here at the Kaagbaan filming arrivals today. A warm welcome to everybody who has joined already. I saw in the chat that Maria is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Maria. Hope you had a good day thus far, and I hope that the stream will make a nice end of your day as well. As you can see, the weather is not very cheerful. It is overcast right now, but it is dry still and less wind than we had yesterday. I guess that's the silver lining. We're going to see the Orange Pride later in the morning. There's a Delta 767 already underway. The A380 and some 747s are also underway. Very good morning to everybody who's joined already. Buddy, goedemorgen. Stefan, Peter, Ray, Malay, Nielsel, Ron, Ricardo, Dick, Jelle, Martijn, goedemorgen. Good morning, everybody. I'm standing a little bit back compared with where I normally would stand. That is because my buddy Ephraim was already here. He's now standing right next to me. He came here all the way from Kampen to spot at Schiphol. The silver lining of this location is that we can also see the canal and the aquatic birds that I did see earlier much better. And Loksam containers are not as much in the way. Hopefully the sun is going to shine. So I'm standing a few meters back compared to where I otherwise would stand. Means that we can also look directly into this canal, which is nice because there are aquatic birds in the vicinity. They just went into hiding as soon as I arrived on the scene. You can see Martin Air, the MPS is over there, Nippon Cargo is too. Chinese Triple, I think, in the background. Jörg, goedemorgen, good morning. Rick, good morning. Dirk on tour, good morning. Kielen, good morning. Mieke, Jan, good morning. Jonathan, good morning. Richard, good morning. Goedemorgen. Today I am streaming again at the low latency that I also was streaming on before. This is a site where you have direct line of sight with the 5G radar, so I am just curious to see what the stability is back on the low setting, the low latency setting. And I'm also curious to hear what you guys are experiencing in terms of delay. The latency should be lower than it was yesterday on average, and I'm wondering if that's the case. We'll see. Also a good test to see what the stability of the low latency setting here is at a site where normally reception should be decent. Qatar Cargo is arriving from Doha. Will be arriving pretty soon. This is Sun Express arriving from Kayseri in Turkey. Peter, goedemorgen. RTM Live, goedemorgen. Gasp, goedemorgen. And Scott and James Mail both celebrating membership anniversaries today. Scott celebrating 14 months of membership, and he would like to request more LMP in the lounge. Duly noted. I'll get on it as soon as I'm done with today's stream, mate. And James Mail is celebrating 24 months of membership. He has turned blue. Another 24-month blue member. 24 months, motherfuckers, still the best. Mate, thank you so much for your ongoing support. And Scott too, thank you both so much. The LNM is low. I've got that written down. If anything else is amiss, let me know. Let me see what I can do to ameliorate the situation, guys. Hope you guys are both going to stick around for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular frequent visitor. Tijn, goedemorgen. This is the Kaagbaan. Indeed it is. And Casp, mate, thank you so much for your generosity. Casp just now went ahead and gifted 5 memberships. And warm welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Casp. If you are one of the 5 lucky ones to have received a gifted membership from Casp just now. Casp, thank you so much. That is really sweet and generous of you. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Goed bezig, dankjewel. Goed bezig is a Dutch expression, which if you translate it into English, literally good busy, means you're doing something right. Jelle also asking the runway. This is runway 06, aka the Kaagbaan. Pretty soon we are going to see Delta with the 767. In fact, the next airplane is already the 767-300. And Ephraim just now told me that today is actually the last day it is coming to Schiphol. So cherish your moment, ladies and gentlemen. Having arrived from New York, just fucking kidding, 6 hours and 47 minutes on the way, the November 169 Delta Zulu. Marijke, goedemorgen. Daniel, goedemorgen. Marcel, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Gary Grebe is also here. Mother Ducker. Hey, Gratje is also back in the chat. Goedemorgen. Gratje, aka Roadhog, is also celebrating his 2-year membership anniversary, 24 months, feeling blue today, and rightly so, mate, but blue in a good way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, Gratje. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Happy to see you again. Hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. Hopefully as a member, but if not, then at least as a regular, frequent visitor. Thank you so much for the ongoing support, and also to you I say, if anything is amiss in the lounge, let me know, and let me see what I can do to fix it. Very good morning to everybody else who joined in the meantime. Ramon, goedemorgen. Helicoptrosis. Good morning to you too. So, KLM flight 978 is next, arriving from London City, and Qatar arriving from Doha behind it. Qatar 777 freighter. This is an Embraer arriving from London City, the PHEZP Vezep. Guten Morgen, Scavenger. Herzlich willkommen. Howdy Han, goedemorgen kerel. Have you already been test flying the new DJI Aria drone? How has it been? Scott asks about 747s, and let me show you guys after the next arrival. We'll head over to the computer, do a screen of Flight Radar, and I'll show you what is underway. Rory wonders until when I am going to stream for. Well, I do have to go to an appointment later in the day, which means I cannot stay here until, for instance, 2 o'clock. I'm thinking 1:30 or so is probably the latest I can hold out. Then again, I did see that there was a 747 on the way. That is arriving just a little later than that, so I'm wondering how that ETA is going to progress and develop going forward. Let's show you guys what's in store. Let's begin with that first. Current situation, well, the visualization of the meter. While that's loading, let's have a look. So Orange Pride is the first airplane of interest to be arriving here around 11 o'clock. It's now flying almost over England, so Ireland. This is the airplane I am eyeing for. Yeah, that is a bit late. I hope it's going to make up a bit of time, but usually they pick up more delay as they still continue forward. So I'm not sure if I'm able to stick around for this one, because I do need to go home again in time to drop my stuff and head out to the appointment I have. Saudi Cargo is arriving 12:37, well before 1 o'clock. Should land on the Kaagbaan. I always keep confusing them. I always keep saying Kaagbaan when I'm at Polderbaan and vice versa. Emirates is expected 3 minutes past 1. That's interesting. That might, if it picks up a few minutes of time, it might actually land here. Might also, of course, get a few more minutes of delay. You never know. Wind is blowing directly from the east, and that is more or less headwind with a little bit of crosswind from the right for the airplane's landing. 9 knots of wind, less than we had yesterday. Broken clouds at 2,500 feet, which is also exactly the ceiling right now. 12 degrees C, around the same temperature as it was yesterday. That's not very warm, but at least the wind is not very heavy. In the meantime, the birthday girl is throwing around gifted memberships. Maria, what are you doing? You are the one who should be receiving gifts today instead of handing them out. Maria, our moderator, celebrating her birthday today. Don't forget to congratulate her. And if you are one of the 5 lucky ones who received a gifted membership from her, don't forget to say thank you. Maria, that is stupendously generous. You really didn't have to do that. I honestly mean that. You're the one who should be receiving. No, you're the one who should be receiving the gifts. Let's see. Hey. Yeah, but that's Cathay. But that's inbound. Yeah. Is that inbound? Nah. Where is that? There's also. Is there? Where is it coming from? Dubai. Yeah. No, I saw it taking off on flight radar. Iframe is showing me that there is also a Cathay Pacific 7478 underway. But that, I think we just now saw, was taking off here. Yeah. So that's still expected later today, not immediately. No, Maria, really, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. That is above and beyond. SAS flight 821, A320neo, arriving from Oslo. And Han tested his drone only once due to much wind and available time. The picture is perfect, very stable even in bad weather. Nice zoom without quality loss, no pixelation. Sounds good, mate. Sounds really good. I've been thinking about maybe buying a drone several times, but still, I'm not sure. It's more of a toy. It would be more of a toy for me than anything else. Maybe one day. They do get better by the year. Good morning, Dodo, Eftelboy, Cherk, J. Wijnands, Dahlia, German Monster, good morning, Mike Wild, good morning, Jero, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Right. Back to the airplanes and the business at hand. Embraer 175 arriving from Brussels, Delta Airlines A330neo arriving from Salt Lake City, Utah. Toys for boys, indeed, indeed. I'll always stay a boy. I'm like Peter Pan, except I am unable to fly, or at least under very strict conditions am I only allowed to do that. Good morning, Frank. Jamie, goedemorgen. Danny, goedemorgen. En Floris, goedemorgen. Floris, good morning. Floris is celebrating 20 months of membership today. 20 months, love it here. Keep it up, boy and mods. Thank you so much for the kind words, Floris. Oh, what's that? Firefighter? It is. Firefighter with the sirens on over the A4 highway and a training vehicle. Let's turn around quickly. Floris, thank you so much for your ongoing support and your kind words. It was nice meeting you back when you were visiting a while back. Didn't think you would be such a big guy. Looking forward to meeting you again someday. And in the meantime, I will try to keep things up the best as I can. Another Danny in the chat. Goedemorgen. Fabifan, good morning. Richard, goedemorgen. Joris, goedemorgen. Yeah. That's exactly what I was also thinking, Han. Airspace in the Netherlands is so strictly regulated. I was also, I've also thought about a first-person view drone, an FPV, no, not drone, but airplane. Saw some awesome footage, but that was taken abroad, of course, where they would fly one of those styrofoam airplanes, but with something like a GoPro or something in it, so that you can control it as if you were on board with goggles, so that you can just see it like you would with a VR goggle. Fly into the clouds and above the clouds. How about that? Now obviously that in the Netherlands would be strictly forbidden, and if they ever caught you doing that, that would be hell to pay. In that sense, if there is one country that seems to hate aviation and everything related to it, it is the Netherlands. Hey, Infinity is also back in the chat. Goedemorgen, kerel. Good to see you, mate. Ed, goedemorgen. Good morning. SAS flight 1553, A320neo, arriving from Stockholm. Matthijs, goedemorgen. Air Canada next after this. Karen cabin in the back, as it should be. Keep her far away from the pilots. Should only be a distracting factor. Oh, and that's true. That's true. Buddy, aka Duckman, says that says in Dutch that we as Dutchies can complain about almost everything, and we're very good at it as well. We definitely are. Howdy Tom, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. And we're here at Kaagbaan, Rowan 06, Canadian bank robber coming this way, here to take our money. Arriving from Montreal, 6 hours and 5 minutes flight time. It is a proper Canadian registered airplane with a Quebec in it. Charlie Golf, Hotel Papa, Quebec. Diane, goedemorgen. Eddie, goedemorgen. Matthijs, goedemorgen. Optieven. What a name. The plan is to be live tomorrow, absolutely. Optieven is Dutch slang for get the F out. I should be live tomorrow, weather permitting. Now, current status quo, this is looking to the north over here. It's overcast. Looking to the west, the same. Looking to the east, well, look at the easterly horizon. That's the only place where you can see some light. There's light not at the end of the tunnel, but at the end of the easterly horizon. And this is looking to the south. Hey, that's also Chris Coots over there, I think. Yep, that certainly is Chris Coot. Veronique, goedemorgen. Bookie Meow, good morning. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, our moderator, Marja, is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Marja. Don't forget to congratulate her. Koen, goedemorgen. Greenlight, goedemorgen, good morning. This is KLM flight 676, arriving from Edmonton, Canada. 8 hours and 11 minutes on the way, as it is. Although, is it? Because the airplane's registration is fake. So yeah. Is this real or not? We'll have to see. And in Hilversum, there is sunshine, Marianne says. It's always in the west where things are different than land inward. Coastal regions, either they are more sunny than land inward or they're more cloudy. There always seems to be a contradiction between what the weather is more land inward. And granted, Hilversum is not very much land inward, but definitely more land inward than we are over here at Schiphol. It is said that later in the day the weather should open up a bit more and we should see some sunshine every now and again. From what it looks like over here right now, I find that hard to believe, but you never know what might happen in the upcoming hours. Good morning, Master Renderer. Yuri, goedemorgen. Hey Olaf, goedemorgen, good morning. Martien, goedemorgen. Annemieke, goedemorgen. And congratulations, Annemieke. Annemieke is celebrating her birthday today as well, and she has turned 60. Gefeliciteerd, Annemieke. Good morning, Stacy. And welcome back. Happy Friday to you too. Oliver, good morning. Hey, Sander, goedemorgen. The fake airplane, 12 years old, first flight January 2013. And JP Krause is taking off today. BA flight 429 to London Heathrow, taking off in 15 minutes. Yeah, the only thing we can see from here is just the contour of your airplane, mate. We're not going to see a lot of details. I was striving to do something else today than departures, because we were doing departures yesterday and also last Monday. Even though it is a Friday, I figured let's go and see if I can find a parking place here at the Kaagbaan. I didn't announce the stream yet until I had secured a parking place here, which is why the stream got announced a bit later than normally would have been the case. Marlou, goedemorgen. David, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Marike, goedemorgen. Arjan, goedemorgen. Welcome back, mate. Next up is an EasyJet A380 Neorio, arriving from Birmingham. The OELSU, Lima Sierra uniform. It's 47 minutes on the way, which I think is ballpark nominal. The airplane a year old, first flight March 2024. And there is a KLM, and I saw it as well, but I think it's now behind the container. On the left hand side of the container, you are going to see the Dreamliner arriving from Austin in a few moments. KLM Flight 668. Hey Paul, good morning. Optiva asks if you need permission to be here. You don't. This is public road. Mikey the Bloody Magpie key over there. There's the Dreamliner arriving from Austin, Texas. After that, we should see Emirates Sky Cargo arriving from Aguadilla. And I am already looking a little bit to the right to see if maybe I can catch a glimpse of it. It is in the vicinity of Noordwijk over the coast. With clear weather, no ceiling, we ought to be able to see it. I think it might still be a bit too high and is flying above the ceiling. Once it reaches below it, we should be able to pick it up, just like with the Dreamliner behind this EasyJet. Slight buffer, okay. How much delay are you guys having with the stream right now? If you look at the time on your computer and you look at the time in the ticker. Artjan, goedemorgen. Marcus, goedemorgen. Five seconds, 8 seconds. Okay, so that's 5 to 6 seconds. So yeah, so that's the low latency setting. 5 to 6 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. If I switch it to normal latency, you'll get a bit bigger delay. Yesterday it was around 20 seconds or so, but there was not a single issue, not a single instance of buffering. Let me have a look and see if I can change the setting while streaming. Go back to the normal latency setting I also had yesterday. No, once you're streaming, you cannot change it. So we're stuck with the low latency setting that I had it set to before the stream went live. But at least we now know what the delay is with the low latency setting. And yesterday we established what it was with the normal latency setting. So I am thinking it is probably best to have a bit more delay and no buffering than a bit less delay and sometimes buffering. Adi Roy, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, mate. Zalurk, Werner, good morning. Marcusian, good morning. Tina, goedemorgen. So, Chris Coot and Gary Grebe. Chris and Curtis Coot and Gary Grebe, actually. Haven't seen any ducks yet. Donald and Daisy are still sleeping in, as they almost always are. Next airplane is going to be Emirates Sky Cargo, arriving from Aguadilla. 777 Freighter, de Alpha 6 Echo Foxtrot Victor. Oeh, nee, nee, dankjewel. Ephraim is offering me some grapes. Thank you so much, mate. Emirates Sky Cargo, arriving from Aguadilla, flight 9920. 7 hours, 42 minutes on the way. 777 freighter, the Alpha 6 Echo Foxtrot Victor. Relatively new airplane, a year old. First flight was in July 2024. Lufty CRJ should be flying downwind a little south of me. I'm looking over my shoulder, but didn't see anything in the instance. After this, a 737 arriving from Porto. After that, the 777-300. Hey there, Michael. Welcome back, mate. Good to see ya. Lufty CRJ flying downwind somewhere. The ceiling is relatively low, 2,500 feet. The light at the end of the tunnel does seem to be closing in with wind blowing from the east. The wind is coming from where I am pointing the camera now, more or less, probably from over there. So the open skies that you see at the easterly horizon over there should be approaching this way. Hey, I'm hearing propellers. Is that the... Oh? Lockheed. At what altitude? It's above the ceiling. It's a pity. We are hearing a propeller over here. I cannot see it. Hercules. Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, you can hear it. It's hard to see it. Erik, goedemorgen. This is the Kaagbaan, runway 06. You guys can always have a look in the video description if you want to see where I am standing. Location is in the video description, as is frequently asked stuff, such as the equipment, or at least the most important equipment. KLM flight 1570, arriving from Porto in Portugal. $23,000 feet, thank you, Stefan. Yeah, well, there you go. Far above the ceiling, impossible for us to see, but we were able to hear it, and I think you guys were probably able to hear it as well. Long distance headshot. I didn't realize that standing here where we can also see the canal, you can also see the headshots quite clearly. So I think from now on going forward, whenever I'm visiting here, I think I might be setting up here from now on, since we have the headshots. And we also have the canal over here, the side canal. Let's quickly turn around. KLM flight 592 is arriving next. It's arriving from Johannesburg in South Africa. 777-300. Behind it, another wide body. United Airlines flight 968. That's a 777-200. So if you want to hear the difference between the engines, this is a good example. You'll hear a whir that you'll also hear whenever 777 freighters pass by, but you won't hear that when the 777-200 passes by. KLM 592, 10.5 hours on the way. It's the Papa Hotel, Bravo, Victor, Victor. Willem, goedemorgen. Stefan, goedemorgen. More Stefans in the chat. Marcusi in Aviation says, wow, the delay between you and I is only 5 seconds. Yeah, well, it isn't going to be 5 seconds going forward. I think I prefer to have a stable stream without any buffering and have a few more seconds of delay instead of less delay and more instances of buffering, even with the antenna, even when you have the 5G masts inside, because they are located over there, if I'm not mistaken. Either there or there on the rooftop. But now at least we know the trade-off in latency, in delay. Otis, goedemorgen. Christophe, goedemorgen. United flight 968 arriving from San Francisco, 777-200 9 hours and 56 minutes on the way, the November 78001. Adi Bas, goedemorgen. Daniel, goedemorgen. Bram, morgen, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. And is it me or is my horizon a little off? That's odd. No, it's just it's the angle of the canal and the side. Maybe it is a tad crooked. No, it definitely is a tad crooked. That's odd. Van Bruggen, goedemorgen, meneer of mevrouw. While we're waiting for the CRJ, you might be able to hear the engines of the Emirates, which is parking relatively close by. Next up is going to be Lufthansa Flight 2302, arriving from Munich. First CRJ of the show, here it is. Since the wind is blowing directly from the east, the airplanes experience a little bit of crosswind from the right for them, which means that they're crabbing towards us. And that is nice to see. CRJ, 1 hour and 4 minutes on the way. The DACNV, November Victor. 14 years of age. First flight was in May 2011. Hattie Thijs, goedemorgen. Badgerman, good morning. Welcome back, mate. Richard, goedemorgen. Ah, yeah, Odido and KPN is a bit further. Yeah. I saw it on antenna card. They're basically all, they all have a mast over there. Synchronous taxiing to the left. Adrie, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Austrian on the move. KLM member 175 arriving from Prague over here. Flight 1352. curious to see if we're going to get more buffering in the stream today. There also seems to have emerged a pattern that with the new modem and the antenna, a few stutters in the first hour or so, half hour maybe, but first hour of the show, and then the rest is stable. At least that's what those streams thus far on the normal, the low latency setting have been. Curious to see if that pattern is going to continue in today's stream. Slowly but surely, the openness over there is coming this way. Tarom is coming in from Bucharest next, an A320, so we already know it's a rental. It's one of those all-white Med-Air Malta airplanes. Let's turn around to see it. Tarom Flight 361, arrival from Bucharest, 2 hours and 23 minutes on the way, the 9 Hotel MMO. Mike Oscar. Hey, South Island Aviation, goedemorgen. Welcome back, mate. Good to see ya. Iris, goedemorgen. Good morning. Hola. Iris, the avgeek, also back in the chat. Air Serbia over there. Caleb Flight 644 is next. Let's turn around to film it. Arrived from New York, just fucking kidding. The Papa Hotel, Bravo Kilo Foxtrot, 787-10 Dreamliner, 6 hours and 25 minutes on the way. There it is already. The airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in December 2019. Croatia Airlines, arriving from Zagreb, Bombardier C-Series 300 after that. And Air Canada Flight 808, a 7878 Dreamliner next after that. Bam, deflex. And it seems that we've crossed through 200 likes. Thank you all so much for that. If you want to help this channel reach a wider audience, make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. And if you subscribe, that'll help too. Tell a friend. BizJet's over there in the background. A tri-jet. I think that's the blast fans at the Schiphol Oost area, where you can also find the BizJet apron. I'm scanning to see to what extent we can see it from over here, but not a lot we can see. Guess that's just a coincidental BizJet being parked over there. Hey Milan, good morning. Yellow, goedemorgen. Yellow wonders what it says on the yellow sign. That's Reza. Yeah, and you cannot see it because the camera is mounted on the tripod and it's just mounted a bit too low for you to see. RESA. If I'm not mistaken, Frank also looked that up one time. He can probably tell you what it stands for. Klaus, good morning. The 9A cam, which we also happened to see yesterday. Olaf, goedemorgen. Olaf wonders if I play Flight Simulator. I wish I had the time to do that. Unfortunately, I don't. Thibaut, goedemorgen. PD de Vries, goedemorgen. Peter, goedemorgen. Gerrit, goedemorgen. Hello there. Anybody home? Come on. Nothing. Paul wonders how often I set up at this location. Well, I try to go here quite regularly actually. This is one of my primary locations, just like the Kaagbaan is. Basically, those are the three prime locations. Kaagbaan North for departures and arrivals. Kaagbaan South near the roundabout for departures exclusively. And this location can be used for both departures and arrivals as well. Those are the two primary runways, the two preferential runways of Schiphol. In other words, those are almost always open. There are more locations though, but they are situated on the other side of the airfield near runway 0927, which is still closed until Sunday for maintenance. And even then, when it reopens, it's probably not going to be in use for a while because they usually also have to recalibrate the ILS, and that usually takes several test flights over the course of several weeks under different weather conditions. Duckman, anyone calling me? Definitely, definitely. Mark, good morning. Jason, good morning. Snack, goedemorgen. Breaker of nests, indeed. Well, if Buitenvelder is going to be used again, I am definitely considering going there, of course. It depends on the wind, the runway use. I've been there before and only briefly did they use the Buitenvelder baan, so weather conditions usually have to be such that it is expected to be in use more structurally, which is often when there's a westerly storm blowing. Threshold of 18 left is also a good location to be filming from if they take off to the south. Although it is a secondary runway, it's usually when there's another runway closed and 0927 is used as an alternative for arrivals that you can go there and have continuous action. It's either 18 left or runway 27 then. This is Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300. Hey there Jason, hey there Veldy. Welcome to the show, one and all. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're here at Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals until 11. Then one of the two runways for arrivals. The KLM 100 years Dreamliner over there on its way out. Luckily it's not very warm and there's not a lot of heat distortion yet. Means we can use digital zoom to zoom in and still have decent visibility. Air France Bombardier C-Series 300 is approaching behind me. Flight 1444, arriving from Paris. it's gone. Only the tail fin remains to be seen. And parking lot in the back. Quite a few of them parked over there. SAS on the move, by the looks of it. Hey John Doe, good morning. John Doe asks about having witnessed anything dramatic. Well, there have been a few instances of bird strikes, but usually those are visually not very spectacular and more noticed by the audience when it happened than by me actually filming it. Of course, we've seen a few emergency landings as well. One in particular was a KLM A380 that had a double bird strike in both engines that did an emergency landing on the Kaagbaan a year ago, with all the firefighters coming out to inspect it. EasyJet A319 arriving from Prague, passing by here. Yeah, the coot destroying the Grebe's nest is also quite dramatic. It definitely is. Was. You're absolutely right, Maria. How could I forget? That's at the location where we can go back to again if runway 0927 is back in use. The threshold of 18 left. Yeah, one of these bastards. If you didn't see it, a year ago or something, we were filming at a different location. And a pair of grebes had built a nest, or they were building a nest right next to a coot's nest, and the coot was sitting there seemingly unfazed. And then as soon as the grebes left, he went over to their nest, started stomping on it to make it go belly up. And when the grebes returned, you could see that they were shocked about what happened. They were on their guard for a while. And then when they left again because nothing happened, the coot came back and stomped on the nest again. And then the next day we went back and the grebes rebuilt their nest even more sturdy than it was the day before. The coot tried stomping on it, but he couldn't put a dent in it. Martinair, goedemorgen. CJ, good morning. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. KLM Flight 1930 is next. This is an Embraer 175 arriving from Geneva. Indeed, John, persistence. Well, in that respect, something dramatic also, of course, was when Harry the Heron caught one of the little ducklings and started devouring it whole in front of our eyes. Current status quo, looking to the east. While zoomed out, you can see it looks subtle. That's because it is, but slowly but surely there's definitely brighter skies coming this way. And yes, Jan, it has been a year already. Definitely has been. Hadi Klaas, goedemorgen. And Klaas is celebrating a half year of membership. Goedemorgen and guten morgen and good morning to you too, mate. Thank you for the support as a member. I hope that everything in the lounge is still to your liking. Klaas, of course, already a long time friend of the show. Used to be known as PPTT Cureboy, for those of you who might remember that name. This is his reincarnation. He's still around under a new name, his own name. Thank you so much for the ongoing support, Klaas. launch is amiss, let me know. The LLM is necessary. I already put that on the groceries list. Scott already told me. If there's more needed, let me know. Barbacan, good morning. And Klaus, what are you doing, mate? Klaus is gifting 5 memberships. You really didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. If you are one of the 5 recipients, don't forget to say thank you or dankeschön to Klaus or dankjewel. He understands all. That is really above and beyond, mate. Thank you so much for the generosity. And welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Don't forget, you have 34, I was about to say 24, 34 custom emojis now at your disposal. Make sure to use them. This is EasyJet flight 28674, an A319 arriving from London Gatwick, 44 minutes on the way. OELQZ is the registration. Let's see, KM Malta, A320neo, arriving from Malta. Next after that, flying downwind, Indigo, which I'm wondering, can we see it already? No, cannot look to the right, to the left too much without losing the airplane. Let's be careful doing that. Willful Wild, good morning. Goedemorgen. Jewestijn, goedemorgen. Indigo on the downwind leg, somewhere over there. We're both looking, but not seeing anything. Yeah, it's probably still above the ceiling. There's still a ceiling, unfortunately.
It's coming.
It is coming, yeah. Indigo arriving from India. Hey, Bobbers, good morning. Welcome back, mate. Air Europa will be next after the 2 narrow bodies that are on the glide slope already. That means it's now 3rd. Can we see it already? I wonder. I'm thinking if it were to be visible, it should be somewhere where I'm filming right now. Since we're not seeing it yet, I suspect they don't have the lights on yet, or they're still above the ceiling. The ceiling was 2,500 feet, so the airplanes do need to get a little closer to the airport before diving under it. KM Malta arriving from Malta, flight 394, and next after that an E2 arriving from Berlin. 9H leg. Openness in the skies are slowly but surely coming this way. Raskar, good morning. Herzlich willkommen, guten Morgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined us. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. The Orange Pride is near. There is a 747 from Saudi on the way that is expected to land here between 12:30 and 1. The KLM, no, the Transavia Retro is expected later today. It'll arrive back after I am done streaming, so we won't be able to see it in today's show. Emirates, the Emirates A380. Last time I checked, its ETA was 3 minutes past 1, which on paper should make it a candidate for runway 36 right. I wonder what time of arrival it will be once it enters Dutch airspace. By then we'll know with relative near certainty where it's going to land. whistle, which is almost exactly the same as the one you're hearing whenever an A220 passes by. That's because the engines are relatives of one another. SMK, good morning. Alan, good morning, mate. See, you're up earlier than yesterday. Back to normalizing your sleeping pattern, I see. Alright, next up, Air Europa, arrival from Madrid, 7878 Dreamliner, flight 1091. And if we place it a little bit to the side, we can also have a quick look and see, first of all, where the airplanes of interest are. So the Orange Pride is flying over the Gulf of Yorkshire almost. Well, no, over the Gulf of Yorkshire. Estimated to arrive here around 11. Atlas now at 150, so that's only getting more delayed. Don't think I'll be able to stick around for that to land. Let's have a look at the other airplanes in a moment. Air Europa, arriving from Madrid. The EC MiG, it's a MiG, not a Russian MiG, but a Spanish registered MiG. Jetstream Journeys, good morning. Lindsay, goedemorgen. Thunderbird's theme music. Well, that is copyright protected. It is exactly why for that reason that all my sound bites are stripped of music and whatnot. Ton says that the A380 is expected to land around 1:15, and that would make it a candidate for runway 36 right.
Check the wing.
Hey, nice. Yeah, that's the flex. That's the flex.
Yeah.
Nice picture.
Yeah, thanks, man.
that's Ephraim, who shows me a picture that he took of the airplane, the Dreamliner, just now landing, with beautiful flex visible. So yeah, there is a Saudia 747 on the way, ETA 1242, and you can see now also, oh, now it says 107. Either way, it is still a candidate for runway 36 right, unfortunately. This is the current status quo. The wind is blowing from the east directly, and that means a little bit of crosswind from the right for the airplanes landing on runway 06. Yeah, and there's still a ceiling at 2,500 feet with scattered clouds and broken clouds around that level. 10 knots of wind. Below the ceiling, good visibility. And it's still 12 degrees Celsius. Not very warm. Luckily, it's not as windy as it was yesterday. Openness is upon us. More open skies slowly creeping in from the east. And it's time for another Embraer 190 arriving from London City.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
42 minutes on the way, Papa Hotel, Echo, Zulu, Bravo. Jetstream Journeys, goedemorgen. I said clouds, Klaus. More airplanes on the move here. Looking in the water. The Coots and Grebes seem to have gone. They've gone back into hiding. Interestingly, they are also busy doing stuff over here. Are those sewage pipes? I don't know if they are, but they're definitely pipes. They've put those metal plates over here in the field. And there is, well, what do you call this in English? It's not an excavator, is it? Or would you call this an excavator? Martin also back in the chat. Good morning, Martin. Hope all is well. Let's quickly turn back. Indigo arriving from Mumbai in India. Here it is. Let us turn around. We have another KLM 777 coming in, and this one is coming from Cape Town, South Africa. It's KLM flight 598. It's a 777-200 You can also see lights behind it on the left. And that is Lufthansa A321 arriving from Frankfurt, flight 988. And that's Gary Grebe I'm hearing. Gary Grebe has re-emerged. Digger. Digger, excavator. Well, whatever it is, they're doing something over there in that field. Can you dig it? This is the PHBQP. Bravo Quebec Papa, 11 hours and 6 minutes underway from Cape Town back to Amsterdam. Nice to see the elevators working. Indigo and KLM. Nice combo. Alrighty. ITA sighted on a flight radar flying downwind. On paper, it should be more easy to see airplanes flying downwind south of us. I am assuming that over there is a higher ceiling than there is over here where the clouds are denser. You can even see bits of blue here and there already, so the clouds are thinning. The thinner clouds are definitely approaching. They're not here yet, and they're definitely not in the vicinity where the glide slope is situated, as you can see. Looks pretty dark and gloomy. Now, I'll have to show you the other side every now and again as well, so that you can see it's not all doom and gloom, because zoomed in, seeing only this part of the sky would incorrectly make you think it's much gloomier than it actually is. Lufthansa 988 arriving from Frankfurt. It's an A321, and the next 767 is now number 2. United Flight 20 arriving from Houston. First up, BA Flight 430 arriving from London Heathrow, another A320. Danny, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we're here at the Kaagbaan, runway 06. Primary runway for arrivals. Right now, still the only runway for arrivals, but between 11 and 11:40, converging arrivals with runway 36 right also opening as the secondary runway. On the left, United Flight 20 arriving from Houston in Texas. That's the 767-300. BA Flight 430 is up next. A320 arriving from London Heathrow. 44 minutes underway. 0044, which is also the international code for England, right? If you need to call internationally to England, it's +44, isn't it? Nancy also back in the chat. Good morning, Nancy. the meantime, a very, very big thank you to Klaas. Klaas just now writes and super chats. 17 minutes watching this show. Another drip of vodka, so here you go, a small amount. You're right. I am starting to dehydrate. Let me take a small glass of vodka. Thank you so much, Klaas, for the kind words and for the donation. You really didn't have to use a super chat to get that message across, but thank you so much for doing it. And +44 for the UK. There you go. Isn't the area code of London 20 as well? It's 020 here in the Netherlands as well for Amsterdam, which is funny. The highway around the city of Amsterdam is the A10, and you have the A20 that's around Rotterdam. The area code of Rotterdam is 010, and the area code of Amsterdam is 020. So, interesting little useless fact. Practical use of that fact is absolute zero. It's still funny. Good morning, Martin. And good morning, Stevo. And good morning, all others. This is United Flight 20 arriving from Houston. 9 hours and 16 minutes on the way. Registration of this airplane is the November 647 Uniform Alpha. 33 years old already. First flight March 1992. I was still firmly in elementary school for another 2 years. Busy learning English, and look what that brought me. Nice use of the reversers. You can see things slowly but surely opening up here. That's good news. Means that we should be able to see airplanes flying downwind a bit better. Looking in the direction of the glide slope, that's looking to the east, more to the west more or less, which is where the wind is blowing to. It's of course still more gloomy, but it is promising to get better, as you can see already behind me. The traffic jam around London is the M25. There you go. KK Diablos, good morning. MSFS, good morning. Johannes aus Nuremberg, herzlich willkommen und guten Morgen. Mervyn, good morning. Conan, good morning. This is KLM flight 1268, arriving from Copenhagen. It's an Embraer 175, flight time 1 hour and 2 minutes, nominal flight duration. Copenhagen is one of those 1 hour destinations. Berlin and Dublin are two. Closest by is the 30-minute destinations, Brussels and Düsseldorf. Then you've got the 45-minute destinations, London, Paris, Luxembourg. The hour destinations, that's Berlin, and Copenhagen, and Dublin. And then you've got your 2-hour destinations. One of them is Madrid. Maybe sometimes a bit less than 2 hours. 2 hours is also the average flight time to get from Helsinki, Finland back to Amsterdam. Michael, goedemorgen, and good morning everybody else. Next up, ETA, the first ETA of the show, and it is a Bombardier C-Series, a beautiful machine in a beautiful livery. It's a pity that the sun isn't shining fully. It'll bring out the details, particularly in the back end of the fuselage and the tail out most, but I'm sure we can still see a bit of it. And it's a beautiful color, rain or shine, it doesn't matter. Beautiful shade of blue, the blue metallic. Irish registered. Irish registered. The details are still beautiful, despite the weather, despite the lack of sunshine. Although, hey, over there, it's starting to look a bit more sunny. What? They're actually having sunshine over there. Not that I'm not jealous, not that I'm jealous. Stephen back in the chat, good morning. And Jillard already mentions that Zwanenburgbaan is open, the center runway. That's right. This airplane just now left via that runway already. Looks like it was fueling, feeling, dwelling, whatever. The 1 dot airplane. Next up, arriving from Erbil in Iraq is UR Airlines. I am Airlines? Yes, UR Airlines. Arriving from Erbil in Iraq. 4 hours and 51 minutes the flight time. LZDBT is the registration. Lights behind it, JetBlue, arriving from Boston. It is looking like Alsmeerman is also opening up already. KLM flight 1918 arriving from Zurich. On final. Converging arrivals beginning. Marino, good morning. Jacob, good morning. Frank wonders if Mallorca isn't 2 hours too. I think you may be right there, Frank. I don't know with certainty, but I think so. Here's a bird. Here's a dog. Used to do that as a kid growing up. Who of you did that as well? Making figurines with your hands in the shade or in the light of a lamp or something. Qatar overhead from Brussels. I can hear it, though I'm not able to see it yet. It's still mostly clouded if I look directly up. JetBlue arriving from Boston, flight 631, A321neo. Fully illuminated by the sun, shining. Or at least temporarily. It's already starting to get more cloudy again here. Now, whenever you see one ETA, there's never the second ETA is never too far away. I think we can already see it over there. ETA Airways, or is it? This is ETA, isn't it? ETA flight 108. Yes, that's ETA flight 108 arriving from Rome. A320neo. In the meantime, an A321neo arriving from London Heathrow is approaching behind me. Hey, Russell Crowe is also saying hi to everybody. I'm trying to... Oh, he's hiding in the tree. Sneaky bastard. ETA, of course, going to the wrong runway. Wrong. And the last glimpse over there. That's where we're going to lose it. Now, You may or may not have heard Russell Crowe saying hi, and he is hiding in the tree over there, ninja style. Craw, craw, craw. If I remember correctly, this should be an oak tree, or this is an oak. Well, it's an oak tree in the foreground. The tree he's sitting in is different, has different leaves. Yeah, that's a different species. A birk? Not sure. Birk tree? Probably. Birch. That's it. Birch. Next up, play flight 460, arrival from Reykjavik, Iceland, the TFPPE, Papa Echo, 2 hours and 55 minutes on the way. One of the last weeks that it is coming this way. Somewhere in the course of October, this service is going to end. So one of the last few weeks that we still have an opportunity to make the chat bleed. The TFPPE, 2 years old, first flight October 2022, 2 hours and 56 minutes on the way, a bit longer than normally would have been the case. Some people are reporting buffering, but not everybody. Maybe a refresh will do the trick for you guys who are experiencing buffering. Air Arabia Morocco arriving from Nador in Morocco behind this airplane. Modest enthusiasm in the chat to make the chat bleed. Interesting that Martin reports buffering on the TV and not on the laptop. That's interesting. So it seems that it is then a YouTube thing instead of a local area network thing. Hey, Alex Bond is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. And NBA is too. Welcome back, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. So converging arrivals have begun. And I can also see that Suriname is on the move, the A340. That's going to leave via the wrong runway, the Polderbaan, furthest away from where we are standing. That is a pity. And with converging arrivals, the A340 can cross the center runway without having to wait for any traffic. So we're not going to see it going around the southern threshold either. That's a shame. The Coot versus Greep story was the greatest ever. It definitely was a very nice saga. A two-part telenovela. Air Arabia Morocco arrived from Morocco, which of course is in Next up, the Orange Pride. Alrighty, let's turn around then and welcome the Orange Pride. KLM flight 696. There it is. The PH BVA Orange Pride. And we can use some digital zoom as well to see it already. There it is. Quite clearly recognizable. The BVA, first flight January 2008 from memory. Yeah, January 2008. 17 years old. Almost old enough to vote. We'll get new elections soon enough. We get the vote here in the Netherlands in October, in a few weeks from now, but I'm pretty sure, I've got a hunch that the BVA will also get a chance to vote pretty soon after having turned 18 in January. The BVA is returning from Toronto in Canada. 6 hours and 37 minutes the flight duration. Let's make the chat orange, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, together we can do it. Good morning, Mr. F. As Swedish car spotter and Carol in the world. Welcome back, guys. There we go. An orange chat. Thank you all so much. Together we stand strong. Lovely. It seems that Gary Grebe was also impressed. He was also chanting, wow, orange chat, orange chat. All right, it looks like we'll have to wait a few moments before the next airplane to the Kaagbaan is approaching. I think it's the Chinese triple coming in first, and a lot of airplanes are now arriving from the east, all destined to go to runway 36 right. Although Delta Airlines is also approaching the coastline now over the Gulf of Yorkshire still, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's looking like the Chinese triple is going to be directed over the airfield, and that means we should be able to see it pretty soon. In the meantime, Ernie is our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member, renewing his membership. Mate, thank you so much for renewing and for your vote of confidence. Welcome back in the lounge, and we kept your seat warm. Everything still left the way we kept everything the way you left it. Welcome back, Ernie, and thank you so much for renewing your membership. Christian, hi, have a great day to you too, mate. Welcome to the show, mate. So we're waiting for the next traffic. I think the Chinese triple is going to be directed over the airport, and we should be able to see that pretty soon. Delta Airlines is still over the Gulf of Yorkshire. That should be becoming visible in a few moments from now. It's also sounding like something is starting over there on that end. Ga je er vandoor?
Ja,
hey.
Ik ga even een schip een vriend van me ophalen.
Ah, is goed man. Hey, leuke.
Gezellig.
Ja,
Hey,
absoluut.
leuk jullie kennen.
Ja, zeker. Hele fijne dag nog.
Ja,
Goede reis
dankjewel.
terug
Jij
ook.
ook, hè.
Volgende keer als je in de buurt bent, kom gezellig weer even gedag zeggen.
Heb je ook Insta? Of,
Ik heb ook Insta, maar daar doe ik niet heel veel mee. Maar ik heb wel Insta. Ja.
Dat ik jou ook kan volgen ook.
Super man.
Super leuk wat je doet, man. Echt
Hey,
top.
dankjewel. Leuk man. Hey, veel plezier nog hè. Blijf warm. Hoi hoi. My mate Ephraim, all the way from Kampen, now going back to the bus stop. He's going to pick up a friend who is also coming over for the day. They also have plans to go to the Polderbaan later, which I already warned them is not the best location if you need to use public transportation to get there. Verder Sebastian, guten Morgen und herzlich willkommen. Bird control is over there. I thought I heard something spool up, and I'm not sure if that is just my imagination, or maybe if one of the APUs got started already. The A340 is on its way to the Polderbaan. If you guys could give me a heads up once it is lined up and first to leave via the Polderbaan, I'll do my utmost best to film its departure from here. Now I am looking up in the sky where the camera is pointed more or less, because somewhere over there a Chinese, well no, it's already further I think the Chinese triple is over there somewhere, and I'm afraid it might still be above the clouds. I was hoping it was going to be directed over the airport directly, because then it would be visible. I am fearing that it is now still above the clouds that you can see over there. Oh, it is already first to go. Excellent. In that case, let us turn the camera a bit to over there, which is where airplanes taking off from the Kaagbaan should emerge from behind the trees. In the meantime, I'm also checking out where Delta is. Oh, it's in the process of lining up right now. I also see the Suriname when it is on outbound with my filter, so that's good. In the meantime, our next arrival over there, turning in. That's Delta Airlines, flight 162, arrival from Minneapolis. The gear is already out, as you can see. And indeed, Mr. F, Maria is celebrating her birthday today, so don't forget to say congratulations to Maria. She is the birthday girl today. Suriname A340 is rolling. I'm still scanning the sky left of me to see if I maybe am able to catch a glimpse of the triple, the Chinese triple. All right, now we'll have to wait a few minutes before the A340 has climbed enough so that it is climbing out above the trees, but we'll get there eventually. There it is. There it is already. Suriname flight 994 to Paramaribo, the Dows, the A340-600, the airplane that recently we saw go around after a touch and go around, so to speak. If you missed that, have a look in the video section. It's one of the latest, if not the latest, separate video. Hey! I was hearing traffic overhead, and as it happens, since it is opening up a little bit, there was an airplane producing a control overhead. There it is. Good clarity already in the parts where the sky is opening up. Bodes well for the upcoming hours. Here we have the next arrival. Delta Airlines flight 162, arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330-300, 7 hours and 34 minutes on the way. Ah, that was Lufty to Atlanta. Thank you, Stefan. Reversers being applied there, no question. If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It'll help to bring in new viewers who may not have heard of the channel yet, but who would be interested in watching what we're doing over here. Hey, it seems that the Suriname is coming this way. Interesting. I think we might be able to catch a glimpse of it once it has cleared the low clouds over here. Erik, goedemorgen. Sven, goedemorgen. QJ, goedemorgen. Right, in the meantime, an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Oslo is next to arrive. KLM flight 1198. What I am now looking for is if we are going to be able to see the A340 somewhere over there. There's an open patch of sky. It's already passed by. Yeah, it's already passed by. So unfortunately, we're not able to see that yet. Looking to the northeast, this is what it looks like. This is to the east. This is to the south. This is looking to the west. The wind is blowing from the east, from over there. Slowly but surely, more openness is coming this way. Next up, KLM, flight 1042, arriving from Birmingham. 737-800. And after that, the Chinese triple that I was trying to find in the sky, but wasn't able to. The triple now already visible in the background. Converging arrivals in progress until approximately 11:40. After that, it is time for the Kaagbaan to once again become the only runway for inbound traffic. Ali Maria, goedemorgen. And welcome back, hope you're doing well. The sun, slowly but surely, starting to shine more and more over here. The next airplane coming this way is the Chinese triple, arriving from Shanghai. 777 freighter, China Southern Cargo Flight 451, 10 hours and 58 minutes on the way. The Bravo 20 Echo Mike. Looking around to see if maybe there are some contrails visible, but the sky for the better part is still covered by clouds. China Southern Cargo, here it is. Angry looking Chinese 777 freighter, 10 hours and 59 minutes on the way. Coming all the way from Shanghai in China. Looks like it doesn't want to be here. Lost since 76. Good morning and welcome. Whammo. Hey, Siricus Designs, back again. Just landed with KM Malta. Welcome back in the Netherlands. Hope you've had a good flight. And seems that we've crossed through 350 likes. Thank you all so much for that. If you are enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel and tell a friend. It'll help to bring in new people who are also into live aviation, but who don't know of the channel's existence yet. EasyJet A319 coming this way. On runway 06, Transavia arriving from Barcelona, going to 36 right. This is Transavia flight 5132, 737-800, arriving from Barcelona. EasyJet arriving from Venice behind it. Luggage delays. I've had that happen to me as well one time. That is highly annoying. You just want to go home, then you have to wait for the luggage. Not much you can do about it, except find a place where you can sit. I hope your suitcases come quickly. But it is annoying, absolutely. Hey, good morning to Trond, Andrew, and Rien. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hey, Chillbro Baggins is also back in the chat. Chillbro Baggins says, or people who are forced into live aviation due to moving directly under a very busy approach path. Yeah. I wonder if there are many of them. Probably not that many. Chinese triple is coming this way. EasyJet to both runways now, an A319 to this runway, and A320neo to the other runway. And Transavia with the Ecstasy Express next after that, arriving from Ibiza. This is EasyJet flight 25530 arriving from Bristol. Now, Stephen, thank you so much for your generous super chat and for your birthday wishes to Maria. I'm not exactly sure if this is the way to do it. Mental note to self, next time Maria is in the Netherlands, get her a big fancy schmancy coffee on behalf of Steven. Duly noted. That is so sweet of you, Steven. Thank you so much for that. It's a very indirect way of giving Maria a birthday present. What the fudge is that? Is that break time? Is that the break time horn, or was that a truck? There's a 777 slowly but surely taxiing this way. I think I can also see a beautiful blue ITA over there, standing out between all the white, all the green, and the lighter blue of KLM. Transavia, Ecstasy Express, flight 5672, arriving from Ibiza. I hope, Stephen, that a reminder from Maria will not be necessary when the moment comes. I usually am good at remembering stuff. I say cautiously. Don't want to blow my own horn, but I'll probably remember. We'll have to go to Starbucks to get you a latte matcha with everything in it. For some reason, I don't imagine Maria as the type who drinks those types of coffee. She doesn't strike me as the type of person who would place such an order. Dustin, in the meantime, is celebrating a 3-month membership anniversary and writes in Dutch, yay, 3 months already. Morning, boy and Chad. Good morning to you too, mate. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. Hope everything in the lounge is still to your liking. If not, let me know. This is KLM Flight 936 arriving from Glasgow, 737-700. No Karen cabin on board. Now it was looking like things would open up, but looking in the direction the wind is blowing from, which if you look in the clouds and you can see the pattern is somewhere over there, that's where the wind is blowing from. Doesn't look like it's opening up that much. Further south, definitely much more cloudiness. This is what the west looks like. This is what the north looks like. And yeah, unfortunately, it's not looking that much more open anymore, looking to the east, which is where the wind is coming from. Martin, goedemorgen. Iberia, arrived from Madrid. 1 hour 58 minutes on the way, and as we already established, ballpark nominal flight duration. Steven is celebrating his 10-month membership anniversary and he writes, time and fruit flies. Mate, that's a good one. Thank you for the ongoing support, Steven. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Good to have you back after having been absent for a while. It was noted by everybody. Good to have you back, and I hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. If not in the lounge as a member, then at least as a regular frequent visitor. Thank you so much for the ongoing support, Steven, and I hope everything in the lounge is still to your liking. A jet arriving from Istanbul. It's a jet arriving from Istanbul. Good question, Stefan. How many Stevens and Stefans do we have today? I think at least 3. Member 175. Right for Chester. Austrian 236 right? Hey, wasn't that Wolfgang's flight? Yankee Lima Alpha Bravo Kilo. One of our Baltics A220s flying on behalf of Austrian. In the meantime, KLM flight 1070 arriving from Southampton is approaching on the Kaagbaan. On the glide slope of the Kaagbaan, I should say. Embraer 190. Nice to see the difference between the speed of light and the speed of sound. This is a couple of 100 meters away. It's a couple of 100 meters away. I would say around 200 to 300, and that's exactly what you see. Almost a second of delay. And good morning, Dale. And Lance too, good morning. Welcome to the show, lads. Hope all was well. And welcome to everybody else who may have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are here at the Kaagbaan, runway 06. One of two runways in use for arrivals right now for another 15 or so minutes. Usually around 11:40, the secondary runway, which today is runway 36 right, will close again. And between 11:40 and 1, only the Kaagbaan is going to be open for inbound traffic. Martin, in the meantime, is celebrating 2 months of membership. Any rides and many more months to come. Mate, thank you so much for the ongoing support thus far. And to you too, I say, if anything is amiss in the lounge, let me know. Let me see what I can do to fix it. Sarah is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Sarah. And Mimi, goedemorgen. Aeon Pilot, good morning. Nippon is in the process of being pushed back. Nippon Cargo, 7478. It's one after the other. Embraer 190 in the meantime, going to the Kaagbaan. It's a memorable day. Our beloved moderator Maria is celebrating her birthday today. Her birthday is almost over already. Being in New Zealand, her day has almost passed by already. Over here, it's still morning for another half hour or so. Her Majesty the Queen. What a sight to behold. It's always impressive, isn't it? Now, we can see the engines being started in a moment. Unless, of course, you find the Embraer 190s more interesting. In that case, I can also turn around the camera and show that. What we can also see in a moment will be the controls check and the setting of the flaps and slats. The slats are the leading, the extensions of the leading edge. Over there, and over there, and over there. You'll see pieces extend in a few minutes from now. Interestingly, the inner two slats will also retract temporarily if on landing the reversers are being applied. And once the reversers are stopped again, you'll see them deploy again. The only airplane that I know of that does this is the 747. Paul is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Paul. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Adolescent Grebe with zebra livery here as well. And he's right behind my laptop tent. In that case, let's just leave him be. It's Embraer Fest at the Kaagbaan. One after the other Embraer 190. The exhaust gases that you see emanate from behind the tail are emanating from the APU, the auxiliary power unit, which is what they run at, if they need power and electricity and are not connected to ground power. Once the engines are running, the APU can be stopped again because the main engines will provide all the hot air and pressure that is necessary to operate the airplane. Lost since '76 has to go. Celebrating his second wedding anniversary today. Congratulations, mate, and have fun. You can see they're now extending the flaps and the slats. They're doing an aileron check. Elevators are now checked. And lastly, the rudder. Or have they already checked the rudder? They might have already checked. No, there you go. That's the rudder to the left. Rudder to the right. The slats and the flaps have been set. Doing well indeed, Paul. Thank you for asking. We'll once again add a different setting for the stream. The low latency setting here. Slight buffer in the beginning. Other than that, it seems to be running smoothly still. I think it is best to go to the normal latency setting, introduce a little bit more delay, but at least yesterday have a perfectly smoothly running show. QJ asks if I am going to catch the PHNXZ. I don't know. I'm not following when those airplanes are flying so precisely, so I have no idea. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I don't know yet if it's going to stay dry enough, if I'm going to be able to go out. So I don't know yet. Right, and Burfest is now continuing on the other runway 36 right. The next airplane that is arriving on the Kaagbaan is something else than an Embraer 190, so I think I am going to turn around the camera in a few moments. It's still a bit further away. I thought it was Maria who was also mentioning. Oh yeah, there it is. I still see it in the top of the window. Nippon will also leave via center, which we should be able to see quite well from where we are standing. We're right in line with the center runway. Hey, you're welcome, Lost since '76. Enjoy the day, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow, or maybe later in the weekend. Oda says today also perfectly smooth, at least on my end. There were some reports of buffering, more wider spread in the beginning of the show. It seems to be a pattern that if I'm streaming on this setting, ever since I got the new modem and the antenna, the first half hour or so sometimes gives a few hiccups. Short-lived, luckily. After that, things seem to be running smoothly. I hope that's going to continue this way. But still, introducing maybe 10 seconds of additional delay and in return get 0 stutters whatsoever, in my book, is worth it. I'll just continue testing. Things are definitely better than they were before. Queenie is on the move. I shall have to cross the runway at some point. she going right away? She is. It's a turn and burn. Nipple Cargo 7478 on its way to the center runway, so it'll arrive there pretty soon. In the meantime, an E2 Embraer is approaching. E2 Embraer KLM flight 1136, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. "17 seconds today." Well, earlier in the show, people were reporting sub 10-second delays, so it seems that the delay has increased a little. I'm wondering if there are hiccups, if maybe the delay goes up automatically. In that case, maybe setting it to normal and start with more delay, and then there's no needing to catch up again. Might be even better. If this is the delay we'll end up with for the stream to become stable, then it doesn't really matter what latency option you choose, because you will end up at that stable delay no matter what. Except that perhaps when you start with normal latency settings, you'll start off with the delay from the get-go, which means you won't have to introduce any buffers to get to the delay it apparently is able to run stable on. Ramon is still reporting 7 seconds of delay, and Stefan still reports 8, like in the beginning. So for them, the difference in latency setting does seem to have a more pronounced effect. Peter, goedemorgen. Still, it's interesting that even when you have the masts, the G5 masts, the 5G masts within visual range, there was still a slight stutter for some in the morning. All right, now it is 11:39 and I am thinking we are done with converging arrivals. I don't see any traffic going to 36 right any longer. It seems that Transavia flight 5822 arriving from Bari is continuing downwind to land at 06 in the end. So I'm calling it 06 once again has become the only runway for inbound traffic, with an Embraer 190 right now on final. KLM flight 1056 arriving from Norwich. Less buffering now, Frank says. Were you also here already in the beginning? I think you were, weren't you? It seems to be a pattern with the new modem and the new antenna that on the low latency setting in the first half hour there are a few short-lived hiccups, and after that things stabilize and continue to stay stable. Either way, I'll do some more testing in the upcoming streams with the latency setting set back to normal. In other words, with more delay. If the delay is less than half a minute, I think it's still within the realm of being acceptable. If it results in a very consistent and stable stream, I think that's to be preferred over the smaller delay. It's not a very sizable delay, seemingly. Anyway, enough about the latency and other technical mumbo jumbo. We're here for the airplanes. And it seems that we've crossed through 400 likes. Thank you all so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to hear you guys are enjoying the show, and I hope everybody is. If you are enjoying what you've been seeing thus far and you haven't given a like yet, consider doing so. If you want to help the channel reach a wider audience, liking and subscribing and telling your friends is the way to go. That'll help. On paper. Howdy Marijke, goedemorgen. Marijke is reporting no buffers since the beginning of the stream. Same for Roger. So today's buffers seem to have been local and not experienced by everybody. Howdy Lars, goedemorgen. 7 seconds for Rien, 6 seconds for Gerrit. Well, and yesterday the people were reporting maybe 15 or so seconds, 15 to 20 for the normal latency setting. I think that's also still within being acceptable. If that makes it run perfectly smooth. The litmus, I said it yesterday already, the litmus test is Victor 3. I'll definitely set the latency settings to normal next time I'm there to see what difference that makes. No buffers in Bonn as well, Alex says. That's good news. I'm thrilled to see that from here you can also still see the headshots of the cargo airplanes, but also look into this side canal, which I also think is an improvement from where I was standing before. Initially I was setting up here because Ephraim was sitting at the end already, but he came and joined me here. But from here, the only thing we cannot see is the small part connecting that part to this part. That's the only thing we cannot see from over here, but we can see the side canal and of course everything over here as well. I think for looking into the water, this is probably the most optimal place to be standing. 8 seconds for Jan. And Jan, have you experienced any buffering on your end today? Rakete 88 is standing at the polderbaan and I am not here. I am here. Was? Rob isn't seeing buffering, but he does see buffaloes. Buffels means buffaloes in Dutch. We just skip the O. For us, it's buffels instead of buffaloes. 6 seconds in Antwerp. Eric is reporting. And Victor 3 is now vacant. Frank says, well, there you go. Such is life. Next up, KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire. Chinese A350 on the downwind leg, and looking to my left, I am still struggling to see any airplanes. Not seeing anything on the downwind, unfortunately. Delta A330 is approaching behind it. So 2 consecutive A330s. The foreground is a 200. Behind it, a 300. Also hearing an emergency vehicle, though I am not able to see it. KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire. 8 hours and 40 minutes on the way. It's the PH AOC. I say, what the fuck just now happened? The airplane we're now looking at is 19 years old. Its first flight was in October 2005. Now the firefighter vehicle is also visible. It's coming this way. You'll probably pick it up better on the mic now as well. thought I also heard a second vehicle, but might also have been reflections. 747. That probably already took off, didn't it? I think I see it. Saw it. No, still see it. There it is. Or no, that's the triple from El Al. Nippon cargo rolling. Thank you, Maria. I already thought I had missed it. Luckily, we're still in time. Nippon cargo taking off via the center runway. I could set the building on fire. A warm welcome to the show, everybody. If you just join us, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at Kaagbaan, runway 06, which is the only runway in use for arrivals right now. Secondary runway today for the arrivals is runway 36 right. Hey, GE is also back in the chat and coming in with a carpet diem from Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for your super chat, mate, and for your kind words. Carpet diem indeed, seize the moment. Pluk de dag. Delta Airlines Flight 136, having arrived from Detroit, Michigan. Rudder landing, check. Wheelie, check. Reversers. Don't think so. It's sounding like an idle reverse landing. Not a full bingo card landing then, unfortunately. Elwa, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else. It's a festive day. Maria is celebrating her birthday today. Is it still Friday in New Zealand? Or has your birthday officially passed already? It is her birthday. Don't forget to celebrate the birthday girl. Our favorite moderator, Maria. If you're hearing sounds, bangs, it is over there. Bang, bang, bang. You can see the delay, the difference between the speed of sound and the speed of light. Ah, still 2 more hours to go. Mirza Games, good morning. And Butsy, good day to you too, mate. Butsy is tuning in from Osaka in Japan, nice. If I ever get the chance, I'm definitely going back to Japan. I've been there once, just to Tokyo, and that already was enough for me to get hooked on the country. Such friendly folk. I think if you could rank people on a scale of friendliness, I think the Japanese rank highest. It's also very safe. You can just leave a camera bag with expensive equipment in the middle of the street and it will be left untouched. That is incredible. Stefan says the speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. That is why a lot of people seem smart until they open their mouth. Yeah, it's funny because it's true. Yeah, no one locks up their bikes Well, try doing that in Amsterdam. If you want to get rid of your bicycle, that's the way to do it. That is absolutely the way to do it. Right, it's Embraerfest once again. We have an Embraer 175 arrival from Cardiff, an Embraer 190 arrival from Humberside, and then a Chinese A350. I am wondering, can we see the ladder already? I don't think we can, or can we? We still have a ceiling, unfortunately. Particularly looking to the west, means that the airplanes will have to dive under the ceiling first for us to be able to see it. Had we had perfectly blue skies, the A350 would have already been visible. Chris good. Yeah, which bird is that? It's also nice to see that there's a little bridge over there. Are those coots, grebes, or ducks? That is a good question. The A350 in the meantime has become visible. It's dived under the ceiling and now we can see it. In the foreground we have an Embraer 190, an Embraer, arriving from Humberside. 40 minutes of flight time, the Golf Charlie Mike Whiskey India. It is a Britty hopper. By Frank, and which the pilots flying these airplanes gladly take over. One of them reached out to me to even tell me so. Now, the next airplane is, I think, the first A350 of the show. Let's have a quick look and see what is in store still. So looking on Flight Radar, we can see that there is a Saudia 747 on the way, expected around 12:30. The Emirates A380 now has an ETA of shortly before 1 o'clock, and that might make it a candidate for 06. I'm not sure. I'm still counting on it to go to 36 right, but you never know. This airplane, unfortunately for me today, is going to be too late because I have appointments later today for which I will have to wrap up at around 1:30 at the latest. So depending on if there's anything interesting following the A380, I might end a bit early today. No appointment scheduled for tomorrow, but for today I need to go to the other side of the country, more or less in the afternoon, the late afternoon. Oh. Good lighting. Good lighting. Oh, floaty landing. Air reverses as well. China Southern, flight 307, having arrived from Guangzhou in China, the Bravo 320 Sierra. But she is wondering what the banging noise is. They're driving poles into the ground where there used to be a parking. Going to build something over there, and this is to make sure that the building is going to have a solid foundation. Hadi Bas, goedemorgen. Good morning, one and all. Patatje Mayo, goedemorgen, good morning. I don't think they care, Butsy. I don't think they care. I hope nobody got itches or anything or cramps, because this was EasyJet flight 22515 and A319 having arrived from London Luton. Next up is a KLM 777-300 arriving from Panama City. There it is. KLM flight 758, 9 hours and 48 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel Bravo Victor Charlie. Lights in the distance visible would be of an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow, KLM flight 1004. Making a raised streaming platform with fiber optic cables. That would be something, wouldn't it, Ray? I'd be very much in favor of that. What also would work if the Schiphol group would grant us access again to P3. We can certainly dream, absolutely. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow, and somewhere behind it, there it is already, Delta Airlines flight 144. Which altitude is it flying on? 1750 feet. That is below the ceiling. Let's have another look at the weather. The meter in the ticker is updated automatically, but for those of you who are more visually inclined, we can also check the meter website. The meter in the ticker is updated automatically. It's updated twice an hour, and it shows you the current weather at Schiphol Airport. This is the code that you'll see in the ticker as well, and here you have the visual representation of it. The weather report for EHAM, that's Schiphol Airport, together with AMS, one of two international abbreviations for this airport. The wind comes from 090 degrees, 9 knots of wind, which it says so over here. The wind direction is variable between 060 degrees, headwind for the airplane's landing, and 120 degrees, which would mean a little bit of crosswind from the right. Visibility below the ceiling of 2,900 feet is 10 plus kilometers. We have layers of clouds, few clouds at 2,100 feet, broken clouds at 2,900 feet, and that's where also now the ceiling is. The air temperature is 12 degrees, it says so over here. The dew point, the temperature at which the moisture in the air is going to condensate and become droplets, is 8 degrees Celsius. The air pressure is 1023 hectopascals. No SIG means no significant changes are expected in the upcoming hours. The TAF is also the weather forecast for the upcoming hours, and it will tell you a little bit of the visual conditions, medium visual range, visibility, ceiling expected, wind expected, the wind speed expected, and that also is in code with probabilities attached to them. Interesting for those of you who want to see what weather you might expect in the hours going forward. So the next airplane of interest is going to be Saudia, arriving around 12:30, still in Germany, but soon to be arriving here on the Kaagbaan. And now with an ETA of 12:57, it also looks like the Emirates arrival from Dubai might do the same. Fingers crossed, guys. That would be an amazing development if that is also coming here to land. Indeed, Paul. P3 with charging sockets, coffee machine and high-speed internet. I'll happily pay for that. Hans says, don't forget the toilet. The toilet is right on the outside. 50 meters from the entrance to the parking lot. Where the bus station is, you will find good toilets for both male and female, well maintained. So those are already on site, although not in the building itself, but that's not an insurmountable negative. This was Delta Airlines Flight 144, having arrived from Seattle, Washington, Bill J's hometown. A330neo. Next up, we're going to see KLM Asia, arriving from LAX, which is a well-known city in Asia. KLM Flight 604, arriving from LAX. Behind it is EasyJet Flight 27962, arriving from Krakow. There's also a BizJet turning final to the glide slope of runway 36 right. I'm already looking to my left to see if I am able to see it. Not yet. .36 right is not yet open. I am thinking maybe the BizJet is going to do a breakaway landing on runway 04, but approaching via the glide slope of 36 right. That's something that BizJets often do. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is also going to happen with the NetJets Embraer Phenom. That is arriving from Southampton. First up, KLM Flight 604, arriving from LAX, 9 hours 50 minutes on the way. 777-200, Papa Hotel, Bravo Quebec, Kilo. Hey, does that KLM 737 already have the new livery with the deeper smile? It looks like it, doesn't it? Airlines over there, having arrived from Erbil. And the ITA is also going again. The ITA, which arrived from Milan, undoubtedly returning to Milan. And indeed, Maria is celebrating her birthday while the day still lasts over there down under in New Zealand. Peter says, if you listen closely, the pilot driving is in stereo. Is that so? I do hear what sounds like an echo. And I'm also hearing something with propellers undoubtedly passing by overhead. Is that the Hercules again? For a moment, Gary Grebe was above the waterline. he must have had a sense that I was going to point the camera to him. Mother ducker. Oh, there he is. Yep. And under it goes again. Next up, KLM flight 1284, arriving from Aalborg. Bro 175. What's that airplane that I am hearing overhead? Is that a Hercules again, or? Oh, Antonov. Thank you, Lars. Pity about the cloudiness. Things have opened up a little bit, but it never really pushed through the opening, did it? We started with dark and gloomy overcast, and now it is light and less gloomy overcast. Antonov AN12 from Belfast to Ankara. Pity we weren't able to see it. I was able to hear it, and I think you guys were probably also able to hear it on the ambient mic. Alright, let's see. Embraer 190, arriving from Luxembourg. Next. The next airplane after that still flies in the vicinity of The Hague, and that's KLM flight 1406, arriving from Paris. Not completely alone anymore. The bird controller is also over here. K4, there it is. This is KLM flight 1710, arriving from Luxembourg. Embraer 190, long range, the Daisy. 36 minutes on the way. 18-year-old airplane. First flight somewhere in 2007. Time for me to take a small sip of vodka. Are they in the process? Yeah, they are. I was about to ask, are they in the process of pushing back a Qatar triple? The answer is yes, they are. Thank you, Erik, who says cheers in Dutch. Proost. Proost means cheers, P-R-O-O-S-T. Pronounced proost. The Dutch word for cheers, as in bottoms up. Not cheers as in thanks. And the first GE90 of the two being started, you can hear it. Hey, that's the BizJet. Wait, no, that's not an Embraer Phenom. Phenoms aren't tri-jets, are they? What's this? This is a different BizJet. One that I am not seeing on Flight Radar, interestingly. Thank you, Sarah. Second GE90 being started. In the meantime, the sun is shining here. Well, only short-lived. Hey Ian, good to see you again, mate. Mate. Mr. Buddy, mate. If you switch that up in your head, you get maced, babe, and whatever. I always have a tendency to mix up words, both in English and in Dutch. Always have been. It's not the vodka-induced slur. My vodka doesn't do that. Hey, thanks for the update, Olaf. BizJet was a Falcon from Salzburg. Didn't it have AMS as destination? Because I have AMS filtered inbound on Flight Radar open right now. So ordinarily, if its destination is officially AMS in Flight Radar, I should be able to see it. Maybe the destination was NA or something. The next airplane landing on the Kaagbaan is approaching. KLM flight 1406, still only a few light specks in the distance. But slowly but surely coming this way. It's 737-800. The 747 from Saudi should also be, approaching the Dutch border. Huh? Is that true, Frank? Frank says in Dutch that Skoda means pity in Czech. Is that so? I didn't know that. NA. Well, thanks for looking into it, Olaf, and for reporting it. Pity you drive a Skoda. Indeed. That's really the case. Skoda meaning pity. I didn't. That's really funny. I'm so sorry you drive a pity. Oh shit! I'm tinkering again because I was scrolling in my chat window and now I'm unable to go back to the bottom of the chat. Fuck's sake. Copy URL. Close the window. Reopen a new window. Paste the link. Set top chat to live chat. Zoom in, scroll down. Then back to re-enabling split screen. Turn around the phone and there we go. Hey, Lisa also back in the chat. Did you know that Lisa means amazing in Dutch? Is that so? I never knew that. Are you sure? Otis says in Dutch, to me it translates as schade. I am assuming you mean the Dutch word, so damage. Whatever it is, Skoda is not a friendly word in Czech. It's not a positive word. Pity or damage. Where is Jon when we need him? Hey, Jean-Yves, salut mon ami. Good to see you again, mate. Ray wonders if there are people here who he can convince to fold his laundry. Not me for one. Well, folding laundry is one thing. Ironing it is another thing. Anyway, guys, if you guys have been enjoying the show thus far and you haven't done so already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and tell your friends if you want to help this channel reach a wider audience. Qatar's on the move. There's Need to Embraer also on the move coming this way. KLM flight 1704 being preceded by a 737 arriving from Bergen, flight 1164. The first of the two airplanes already relatively close by, so I think Qatar will wait until the two narrow bodies now on final have landed. Skoda translates to damage. Do I look like I am kidding? Well, actually, yeah. I think you're bullshitting us. Alrighty, let's turn around. KLM flight 1164 arriving from Bergen. 1 hour, 22 minutes in the way. Papa Hotel, Hotel Sierra Delta. Few rays of sunshine over there, but Mr. Blue Sky not in the chat and also not over here in the Netherlands as a whole. Okay, the flight 1704 next after this, arriving from Brussels, all the way from Brussels. 22 whole minutes this flight has taken thus far. 22 whole minutes. I wonder how much the whole process of checking in, going through customs has taken, and before you'll get your luggage again, well, assuming you have any luggage. I can also imagine that the people on this flight maybe only carry a carry-on case, which they can just take with them into the cabin. Hey Martin, welcome back. Martin back in the chat. Lisa is iron deficient, she never does it. I think I'm iron deficient as well then. Stephen says, Jerry irons while Roger Waters and Tom waits. Oh God. Guess I'm not the only one who has been sipping on some vodka here, am I? E2 Embraer 195, this one does come equipped with a carrying cabin. Okay. You're not seeing the tow truck, well, oh, yeah, just a little. It was looking like the Transavia was reversing on its own. Beep, beep, beep. That was looking really funny, since you weren't able to see the tow truck right away. Duckman somehow has the feeling that the chat somehow has the feeling because of the chat that it might be Friday. That is such quackery. Hey Raif, good to see you again, mate. Tuning in from Paramaribo. Yeah, grey weather indeed. This is what the north currently looks like. This is what the west is currently looking like. Turning around to the east, where the wind is coming from. This is what it looks like. So it's not looking like it's continuing to open up. In the morning it was darker grey, now it is lighter grey, but it is still overcast. And yeah, the wind is blowing from the east. Initially it was looking like it would open up a little. It did open up initially, but now it's closed again. And other than these small gaps where you can see just a small pinch of blue, the rest of the sky unfortunately is 50 shades of grey. We're good at that. We invented the whole 50 shades of grey in the Netherlands. That's our thing. Copyright protected by the Netherlands. The next airplanes are still a bit further away. Mark is also back, tuning in from Iowa in USA. What time is it over there now? Is that a 6 or 7 hour time difference? 6 probably, right? What, East Coast, right? And it is Poets Day, of course. Piss off early, tomorrow's Saturday. Love that expression. Happy Poets Day to each and every one of you. So, not much going on right now. Cue the waiting music, because we have to wait a little. The next airplane arriving here is going to be a KLM Embraer 190 arriving from London City. None of the cargo airplanes seems to be in the process of being pushed back. Interestingly, they're not using the time for a runway inspection. Bird controllers over there. He's also pissing off early. BA is on the move. And so too is the 737-700, which does come equipped with a carrying cabin, as you can see. And it is a 6 hours time difference. Thank you, Mark. Daniel is also tuning in, but from Livingston in Texas, where the time difference is 7 hours. Isn't it? Or, oh no, it's B. For a moment I thought I also departed from airplanes parked on that gate as well, but I think it was the C gate for me. Saudia coming to the Kaagbaan. That's good news, Maria. Thanks for confirming what we already hoped was going to happen. Is it still your birthday, Maria? I forgot the time difference. Is it still Friday? Still half an hour or so probably, right? We'll replace the annoying sound, the annoying music by the annoying sound of the PAL drivers. This used to be the old tower, back in the day when Schiphol was a lot smaller. Now this is the main tower. From here we cannot see the Polderbaan Tower, I think. No, I'm pretty sure that that is now hidden from view. This is the perfectly round antenna dome, radome, which was replaced. The previous iteration was more looking like a golf ball. Still 1 hour and 35 minutes. Thanks for looking that up, Stefan. Nice thing about today's weather is that it isn't so warm that a lot of the footage is distorted by heat waves. Reasonably decent footage long distance. Sarah says play music that has the same beat as the pole driver. I don't think I have any loaded on my Stream Deck, unfortunately. Let's turn around. I think we're good to go again with some airplanes as well, which is of course why we're here. KLF at 984 arriving from London City. Here it is, number 190. 38 minutes on the way. Papa Hotel Echo Zulu Foxtrot. And KTD, the 500th like. Thank you, Katie. And thank you for 500 likes. If you want to help out the channel and you've been enjoying the content that you've been seeing thus far, don't forget to drop another like if you haven't already. It's set to help to bring in new people, which is of course what makes the upcoming live streams in the live chat more gezellig. More people, the more the merrier. Delta Airlines up next, flight 164 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Against the not so gloomy anymore background compared to what it was in the beginning. Delta Airlines Flight 164, arriving from Minneapolis, November 426 Delta Zulu, 7.5 hours underway. The airplane a year old, first flight November 2023, so it's going to turn 2 pretty soon, in just 2 months from now. If you're wondering what was that is a guy who is running here. First time I'm seeing somebody taking this grass field as part of their running track. But good on him. Why not? If you're living in the vicinity, in Aalsmeer or something, I think I might also do the same. The guy's probably just an airplane enthusiast. Stefan says, although I found you through the summit, so it wasn't all bad. Well, yeah. Maybe so, maybe so. I'm still not convinced about it. If you go and see on Social Blade, you can see that the number of subscribers has tanked since that June month. Momentum is gone, and that's a shame. Well, at a respectable distance from the cabin. And that's the reversers being applied. Saudia should be flying downwind, and I am looking carefully. If only we were able to see it. It should be flying somewhere over there. It should be flying somewhere over there. But where exactly, I don't know. It should be pretty far away still, but it's also pretty far up still, and you can see there is a ceiling. It is very hard to see anything unless it is below the ceiling. That's why I think we're not going to be able to see the 747 until it is maybe base turning final in the background. Bert, goedemiddag. PHZ, good afternoon. I agree, Olaf. We need more interesting traffic to AMS, like DC-10s L1011s, DC8s, 707 and the like. I think it's going to be a long time before that is ever going to happen. I fear that hell might even have to freeze over first before we're going to see that. Joe Bima is also back in the chat. Good to see you. Welcome back. Perfectly in time. The Saudi 747 is flying downwind. And still not a trace of it. Keep looking to my left. KLM flight 1830 E2 arriving from Stuttgart. Now our next airplane is going to be from EasyJet, arriving from Scotland, from Edinburgh to be precise. Let's have a look. It's an A320neo. There it is already. Oh, the gear is extending as we speak. Nice. Now, if I'm touching my remote zoom control, which is mounted to one of the legs, you can still see it introduces shutter. I can also rotate the whole platform. Torquey legs, metal legs. That's what I feel should be next to upgrade. RDW, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. The Saudi 747 is in the vicinity of Alphen aan de Rijn, going towards Leiden. That's already pretty far away, so yeah, I think we're only going to see it once it has turned final. Nick wonders about the sound that you hear in the background. That's PAL driving. PAL driving taking place over there. Boom, boom, boom. Nice physics demonstration. The difference between the speed of sound and the speed of light. Wherever you are at Schiphol, there's always something going on. If it's not PAL driving, it is excavators and heaps of sand obstructing your view. Or it's a runway that's closed. EasyJet flight 23301. Eurovision, it's your show. Get out there. Get out of here. All right, Saudia, first and only queen of the show. There she is, Saudia flight 933, Saudia cargo, arriving from Jeddah, 5 hours and 33 minutes on the way. The 9H AKF 9 Hotel Alpha Kilo Foxtrot. Five hours and 33 minutes on the way, 747-400 freighter. 30 years old, you can see the gear extending. First flight was in December 1994, ladies and gentlemen. December 1994, I had just begun middle school a few months prior to that. What were you doing other than, of course, celebrating Christmas in that month? December 1994. Air China Cargo AMS office, good day to you too. Long time no see. Hope you've been well. Is one of your planes about to leave? "30-year-old airplane, first flight December 1994. Wow. Such a long time ago already. If we widen the shot, perhaps we'll also be able to catch a glimpse of the 777 that is going to follow the 747. KLM Flight 744 is arriving from Lima in Peru and should become visible from the right at some point. Although I'm not sure if we will be able to see them together. There is a bit of spatial separation between the two. Eric, a year higher up than I was. I was in the first year of middle school. He was in the second year. Pedro was playing with his mini excavator. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. Let's look and listen. Frank was getting drunk as ever. Richard was celebrating his first year in the military in '94. Ray, probably in the first grade, eating boogers and crayons or something. Hey Jackie, goedemiddag. It's 12:39. That means that another 20 minutes before the secondary runway is going to open up. I see a Turkish A380 that seems to be coming this way. Yeah, that burst of power was nice, wasn't it, Lance? I'm glad you guys were also able to pick that up on the mic. That sounded really great. Bus is out of order again, no planes. That's a shame. Well, time for a long distance headshot. Then again, we also need to look behind us. 777 is also approaching. And Kevin says that the exhaust gases are from the APU, the emergency generator. I wouldn't necessarily translate it as an emergency generator because it is part of normal operations. It's auxiliary power unit. So HULP power unit is, I think, a more appropriate term for it. From Lima in Peru, which is right next to the APU. The auxiliary power unit provides electricity, warm air, air pressure when the main engines aren't running yet. They also provide the power, the air pressure needed to start the regular engines. Once the regular engines are running, the APU can be switched off again. But you'll see that the APU is running in the process of starting and at the end of a flight. And it's not to reduce speed more quickly, Erik. For that you have the speed brakes and you have the reverse thrust and the normal brakes. It's just a power unit, and that's just the exhaust gases leaving the airplane. All the things that'll help reduce the airplane's speed are either in the wheels, the brakes, or on the wings, the spoilers, the speed brakes, or on the engines, the reverse thrust. This is KLM Flight 1602 arriving from Rome, 1 hour 52 minutes on the way, A321neo. This is the Papa Hotel Alpha X-Ray India, Faxi. Brand new airplane, first flight June 2025. Her Majesty has found her place really quickly, and you can see she's farting. The APU is on. The inlets for the APU are there, and the exhaust is that hole in the back. It's basically a small jet engine that they have inside. All airplanes have them. It's not something that is particular to cargo airplanes. All airplanes have them in different shapes and sizes. Right, well, the interesting question of course now is, what's the A380 going to do? Earlier we checked Flight Radar, and his ETA, it's the king of course, was 3 minutes to 1. The Emirates A380 is in Dutch airspace already, and its ETA is 12:59. Bus is down. That means that the runway assignment is not known yet. We'll have to see what happens with all the traffic before it, arriving from the east. Turkish at least is coming this way. KLM Flight 1774 is also flying this way by the looks of it. Unfortunately, there's no other air traffic preceding the A380 that is arriving from the east, from which we can base, from which we can gather what runway it has been assigned to. See soon enough. Kanex, good afternoon. Tuning in from Turkey. Have a good spot. Definitely. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show, mate. W says that bus says Kaagbaan for the A380, so W has access to bus again. That's good news. Means that the A380 is coming this way. Hey, Klaartje, goedemiddag. Good to see ya. Cloudy greetings from Belgium. The same there as well, unfortunately, I gather. A380 coming to the Kaagbaan. That's good news, guys. That's good news indeed. Now, before it's going to happen, first, more airplanes. The next airplane to arrive here is Turkish Airlines Flight 1957, arriving from Istanbul in Turkey. 2 hours and 45 minutes on the way, and that is faster than normally would have been the case. Istanbul is one of those 3-hour destinations. 2 hours and 45 minutes, that means they either flew a shorter route or they must have had a bit of tailwind underway. Turkish flight 1957, the TCLOH, Lima Oscar Hotel, 14-year-old airplane, first flight March 2011. Transavia arriving from Faro will follow this A330, A330-200 by the way. KLM flight 622 next after that. This is 777-300 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. KNX getting enthusiastic. Turkish airplane! Indeed. Nice KNX. KNX saw this airplane take off and now also able to see it land here. Nice landing. Reversers? Question mark. Idle reverse landing. Waste of a good opportunity to get loud. Duckies! The duckies are here, but they're also getting out of here. Had to look closely, but those were ducks. So Donald and Daisy are awake. They just aren't in the mood to be lingering around here. Guess they heard that the A380 was coming and they thought, oh, that's too loud and too big for us. Let's get away. Transavia flight 5356 on the right, and on the left KLM flight 622. The airplane on the left is a 777, the airplane on the right is a 737. Transavia flight 5356 is arriving from Faro in Portugal. A flight that has lasted 2 hours and 44 minutes right now. That's the same as the flight duration of the Turkish flight before it. Papa Hotel Sierra Kilo is the registration, HSK, 10 years old, first flight March 2015. Right, the Emirates A380 assigned to the Kaagbaan. More and more people confirming this. That's good news. That means that the mother of all airplanes, or more appropriately, the daddy, is coming to town. Hey, Lucas is also back. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back. Perfect timing. A380 is coming, and it's coming to the runway we're standing next to. And we have Mikey, the bloody magpie key, over there as well. Lovely to see. Next up, KLM flight 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 777-300, 7 hours and 41 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel, Bravo, Victor, Kilo. Flap surfaces look immaculately clean again, as almost always is the case. Turkish in the background. Now, the Emirates is being sent over the airfield on the north side. Let's see the altitude it is flying on right now. 11,000 feet. What? Yeah, that's too high for us to see. No need to point the camera in the direction. The cloud ceiling is going to be in the way of the A380. It's flying over there somewhere. But yeah, that's far too high for us to see from here. And I'm wondering if Norwegian is going to be the first airplane to runway 36 right. I think it might be. Gurdeep is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back. So our patience for the A380, for seeing the A380, is still being tested more. Next up is fueling, wheeling, dwelling, wheeling, dwelling. Whatever you want to call it. It has a yellow dot and it's coming this way. It's arriving from Valencia, A320neo, flight 8353. 2 hours and 11 minutes on the way. The NDB, non-directional beacon. VORs and NDBs. Navigation 101. Right, the A380 is beginning its further descent, says Stefan. It'll be a bit before we're going to be able to see it, unfortunately. But that's okay. In the meantime, plenty more coming. Next up is TAP Air Portugal, flight 668, arriving from Lisbon. 2 hours and 35 minutes on the way. This is the Charlie Sierra Tango Juliet Sierra. TJ's, flight 668. It's an A321neo. Brand new. What? First flight August 2025. This airplane is newer than new. This thing was probably still being built and tested when the retro Transavia A321neo got delivered. Interesting to see that there's also a wide body parked over there. Now, looking on flight radar, what's coming next? KLM flight 1774, an Embraer 190 arriving from Berlin. Vueling flight 1375 arriving from Alicante, an A320. And next after that, an airplane arriving from Guayaquil, which is in Ecuador. First up, KLM flight 1774, arriving from Berlin, flight time 57 minutes, PHEZR, the Feezer. Baby bus incoming, Mumor says. Is that so? That's nice. The A318. That certainly would be nice, wouldn't it? Air France Baby Bus, A318. above The Hague. I am zooming out. Yes, Le Petit Baby Bus. This is the Vergakup coming this way. Nice. Oh man. Well, another rarity. This morning, what was at least that's what my companion at the time said, the last time Delta would fly their 767 to the Netherlands, having arrived from New York JFK, last time this week. So that is a sight we're not going to see anytime soon again after today. A318s are also relatively rare. 767-400s, A318s, Schiphol still sees them. Apparently not for long with respect to the A318. When exactly will the A318 be decommissioned, Olaf? Frank says you could call your homebrew vodka Aquador. Oh man. Ecuador! La vodka, the AMS Live. Now there's a spider hanging from the bottom of my hat, I think. Let's have a look. Where did it go? On my microphone head, all of a sudden I saw something dropping down right before my eyes. How did it come there? How did it arrive there even? How did it get there? Within the next month or two. Okay, that's pretty soon already. Are they going to decommission all of them? And is it going to happen all at once, or is it going to be a gradual phasing out? Because they do have more than one A318 now, don't they? How many A318s does Air France currently still have? This is KLM Flight 751. It is a 777-200 arriving from Guayaquil, which is a port city in Ecuador. This is the Papa Hotel, Bravo, Quebec, India. 11 hours and 7 minutes on the way to get here. Boomer says, thought they had 5. That's still more than I thought. I thought maybe they had 2 or 3 or so. In the meantime, we do see on flight radar looking south of Schiphol that Norwegian has become the first airplane to land on runway 36 right. That means that converging arrivals have begun. Now, no, not Gary Gree, but Chris Coot is also over here. Where did I see him? There. Aqua jogging. Is he coming on to land? No. That also has happened on occasions. Those Coots aren't afraid of anyone. Or at least seemingly. EasyJet flight 22179 arriving from Persenchester, the Gezzers. GEZ RZ, that's the registration, flight time 50 minutes. 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2018. The Baby Bus. Next after that, the A318, and then the King. Usually here at AMS Live, airplanes preceding Quad Squad members don't get much love, but it's the A318, ladies and gentlemen. Le Petit Baby Bus. which is a rarity here. Not only at Schiphol, but also, well, not at Schiphol so much, but more a rarity at on a global scale. A318, A380 combo shot. How about that? Gear is extending. Outer main gear comes out first. After that comes out the inner main gear, and then the hatches close and the gear is fully extended. I'll drink to that. Father and child, indeed, Martin. Right, a quick look at the A318 Petit Baby Bus. Air France flight 1640 arriving from Paris. 43 minutes the flight time. The Fugak P. Well, don't forget the P. And have a look at how little, what a cutie. Despite its small size, it still comes equipped with a carrying cabin, and a pretty spacious one by the looks of it as well. Right, the A318 has landed, the A380 will be next. Emirates flight 147 arriving from Dubai. 6 hours and 31 minutes underway according to flight radar, and that is exactly what is the average flight duration at this point, so completely nominal. The Alpha 6 Echo Echo Zulu. Unfortunately, we're unable to get it in the top 10 on flight radar by the looks of it. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight March 2014. Time to give us those reversers. Yes, please. Nice wheelie as well. Doesn't sound like they were spooling up the reversers. It sounds like an idle reverse landing. Well, the A380 has landed here. It's vacating the runway. Vueling is arriving next after the A380 to runway 06. And here we have a relocation flight from KLM, an A330 arriving from Brussels. Flight 9858. That flight number beginning with a 9, usually indicative of a relocation flight or a training flight. Could be that it has had maintenance. I think that is likely. Probably a passengerless airplane. Ah, look at this! It's even doing a bank to the right. This airplane is going to land on runway 04. The Schiphol Oostbaan, the tiny Schiphol Oostbaan. Breakaway landing by the A330. That's something you don't see every day. That was nice. Holy shizzle. And this is one favorite. Voiling, boiling, wheeling, fueling. And indeed, Roy, it seems that the pile driver has taken a break, lunch break. Belgians for maintenance. They don't even iron stuff, indeed, Frank. I have no idea. I think it might have been a relocation flight for reasons unknown. Probably wasn't a training flight. Alrighty, Iceland Air 767 number 2. There it is. Gear still up. Shamrock. Flight 604 is approaching in the foreground over here. A321neo arriving from Dublin, Ireland. And that's the Iceland Air 767. Going back to the top end of optical zoom. I was thinking that I heard an engine starting maybe on the cargo apron, but I think I was wrong. Nice use of the reverser there. The A321neo from Aer Lingus making more sound with the reverser than the A380 did. It's now well past 1 o'clock, and that means that until 2 approximately converging arrivals take place. Runway 36 right caters to the traffic arriving from the east, while the Kaagbaan caters to the traffic arriving from the west, generally speaking. This is Iceland Air Flight 500 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland, and that's the second 767 I think of the show. The other being Delta. Iceland Air Flight 500, 2 hours and 53 minutes the flight time, the TFISW, and that is a 27-year-old airplane, first flight October 1997. In the meantime, Dustin just now went ahead, he gifted 5 memberships. Mate, thank you so much for your generosity. You didn't have to do that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. I thank you for that. That is very generous, Dustin. A massive big thank you. And a warm welcome to the Skylines to those new members who just received their gifted membership from Dustin. Don't forget to say thanks. Have fun with the custom emojis. Make sure you have fun with them. The pile driver is hammered by now. Pork balls are in back order. That might also be the case. Ooh, yeah. With these two examples of using the reversers, it's quite clear that the A380 landed with idle reversers. Now, what else is in the pipeline? Let's see. Narrow bodies, narrow bodies, narrow bodies. Where's the next wide body? Ah, KLM Flight 682 arrived from Vancouver. Over the Gulf of Yorkshire still. Slowly but surely getting here. I'm surprised to see such little heatwave distortion. makes for so much better viewing of what happens in the background than when it is a bit warmer. It's 737s that are now approaching the other runway, 36 right. 737 arriving from Billund and one from Venice. Over here on final, and let's turn around to film it, it's KLM Flight 914. That's an E2 Embraer arriving from Aberdeen. So you'll hear that whistle, the E2 whistle again, when the airplane passes by. Same sound can be heard when an A220 passes by. Both the E2 Embraers and the A220s are equipped with geared turbofan engines. Not exactly the same engine type, but they are related. Alvin once looked into that. That's why they sound similar when passing by. Stefan has to go. Thank you so much for joining, Stefan. And hopefully see you again tomorrow or later in the weekend. Now I'm also looking to see until when I am going to continue, because I will have to wrap up at 1:30 or so at the latest. I'm thinking right now there's not much coming in. It might as well be a good time to also wrap up with the stream, since I will have to wrap up in 15 or so minutes at the latest to make sure I make my appointment later today. So I think I am going to wrap up now. Obviously, I am looking to be out again tomorrow and on Sunday with 2 more streams, weather permitting. I think the weather will permit me to do that. Hopefully, I'll see you all then. I don't know yet where I'm going to go to. I'm also thinking of maybe going out a bit later in the day, going forward more regularly. Might help to bring in some viewers from the United States who are, for the most part, still asleep at the time I usually film. I'll see and announce a stream whenever I have made up my mind. For now, I'm going to say thank you all for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did like what you saw, consider leaving a like if you haven't done that already, and maybe subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next stream. A massive big thanks for all the likes, for all the support in other ways, shapes and forms, in the form of memberships, gifted memberships and whatnot. Thank you also to all the mods for keeping the stream friendly and accessible to all once again. Hope to see you all in good health tomorrow. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I see you soon. Bye for now, guys.